Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Just Another Sports Betting Podcast. I'm Cody. You can follow me on Twitter at Cody_CHGO, joined by my good friends Blake and Tommy. Welcome back, fellas.
Hello, friends.
Monday Night Football talk here in a second. I have to show one thing, though, for the people. Here we go.
Georgia plus 4.5. Texas has played Oklahoma and Michigan. You know, they played a bad half against Alabama and then almost came all the way back and beat them. This is a must-win game for Georgia. Like, Georgia needs to win this game. If we're talking just strictly college football playoff implications, Georgia needs to win this game. Texas can afford a loss. I think 4.5 is at least too much.
And quite honestly, it might be the easiest pick I've ever made in my entire life, too. It was Texas 2.5. I put in Texas 2.5. We are up to 5, and this game is huge. This is Texas saying we are here in the SEC. We are here to stay. We are going to be the number one team. We are going to be the team that the SEC invests in to make it to the national championship. Texas 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. I don't care. Texas is going to win this game by about a touchdown. I cannot wait for this to be over by halftime.
It was over by halftime.
Well, now I know. First off, now I know why everybody waited for me to run home from the train. And second, look, I'm here to talk about the National Football League. If you want to talk about college football, you can catch us on Thursday nights at the same place at the same time. But I'm here to talk about the National Football League today.
Listen.
There are two incredible games to talk about.
Listen, all right. I am now 2-0 on when me and Tommy go against each other in college football. Like 2 weeks ago, it was Oregon over Ohio State, and now it's Georgia over Texas. However, I'll give credit where credit was due. Tommy was completely right about taking the Chiefs over the 49ers on Sunday. So I'm not perfect either. However, everything he said about Texas, he said it was like his mortal lock of the year. It was like he put his entire bank account on Texas to beat Georgia. And all I can say is that it was very funny how it aged, admittedly. And I guarantee at some point there will be a moment like this for me. So it's all in good fun.
Look, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to be the first one to do it. That's fine. Like I took a bullet. I took a bullet when I took the Saints to beat the Broncos. I took a bullet when this Texas thing. I'll take more bullets. It's fine. It's okay. But I can say that I did save my butt yesterday when I put in the show's money line parlay as it was constructed to bank on that. So I'm sure that you boys did the exact same thing. I know Cody, I know you put the exact same parlay in, correct?
I did until I added the Falcons too.
Oh dear! And I'm pretty sure on this very same podcast I picked the Seahawks.
You did.
Interesting. Okay.
I did take the Lions though. I did take the Lions.
You did take the Lions.
The Vikings.
All right, fine, whatever.
But we did both have the Steelers. So
and nobody talked about the NFL the way that I talked about the stupid Texas Longhorns. So whatever.
We move.
All right, 2 Monday Night Football games tonight. I'm just going to start by saying I hate that there's 2 games tonight. However, it does allow us to place more bets. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. All I know is that I placed more bets than I normally do on a Monday night. So shall we start with the best game, which would be Tampa Bay and Baltimore, I think?
That's the first game too, right? Yeah. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Tommy? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that I don't have quite the lineup that you probably have for this, but I'm willing to listen to player props as I always am, but I just have 2 very straight up square plays for tonight.
Oh, okay. All right. Blake, you go first, man.
I would love to, because I love the Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 4.5 on FanDuel. I saw 4 some other places. I'm fine playing it at 4. I would even sprinkle them money line. I love Tampa Bay tonight, and I'll tell you why. Now, both teams, high scoring on offense. And I think the general population still hasn't caught up to that. Baker Mayfield, he's kind of a good quarterback. When Tom Brady left Tampa, there was all this freaking out that they weren't going to be competitive. They weren't going to be this. They weren't going to be that. They made the playoffs last year. They've rolled that into this season. They're one of the best teams in the NFC when the NFC is down so far outside of the North. Give me Tampa Bay. The Baltimore Ravens have the worst pass defense in the NFL. They're giving up 275 yards a game right now. Baker is going to be fine. The Bucs offense is going to be fine. Give me the home underdog, Tampa Bay Bucs.
Okay. Tom, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. I also am leaning Buccaneers, but I'm staying away from this, and I'm very quietly going to say that I like the over 48. Like you said, the Ravens do have a bad pass defense. The Buccaneers isn't much better. They allowed quite a few points for that Saints team that they played. Sure, they put up 50 themselves, but they also gave up a lot of points. 48 feels like it's the smart play, but I also like where you're going with the Buccaneers, but I'm too scared because of events that happened on Saturday night.
Well, we did it again, fellas, because I too am taking the Buccaneers plus 4.5. A home underdog, 4.5. The Ravens have won 4 in a row. The Buccaneers just put up 50 against the Saints. I know the Saints are bad. However, I like a good home underdog, and I agree with you, Blake. Baker Mayfield has been awesome with them, and so I am going to take the Bucs as well. I think both offenses are awesome, and while the Ravens' run defense is good, their pass defense sucks, and also the Buccaneers' run defense is pretty good compared to their pass defense, which also sucks. So I think this is going to be close. And you're giving me a field goal and an extra 1.5. Give me the Bucs and give me the over.
Yep.
I don't know why Tommy left and joined a different way, but here he is.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't do the whole turn off the Wi-Fi, put in the Ethernet cord thing. That was my fault. I was running.
All good. All right. So we are doing that thing again. Last week, what was it? Last week, the Jets?
Last Monday night, yep. We were all
last Monday night was the Jets, and now here we go. We're all taking the Bucs.
So we all took the Bucs in the over?
We all took the Bucs in the or I know I'm taking the over. But
all
yeah,
right.
I am taking
Well,
the Bucs.
automatically go ahead and give me Lamar 2 touchdowns. Just by that. Like, I don't know what the odds are. I don't know anything. Just give me Lamar 2 passing touchdowns because Ravens about to go off tonight.
I wish the Ravens were I wish they were the underdogs.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love taking Lamar as a dog, but you giving me a field goal and a 1.5.
This is a Tampa strong game. You can't bet against. This is Tampa strong.
Mm-hmm.
They're also a really good
Hurricane. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Bucs are also a good football team. Like I know they probably get the same flack that the Bears have gotten this year of like, oh, well, the Bears have only played the Panthers and only played the Jags. Like the Bucs are like, oh, well, you play in the NFC South. Like the Bucs are a good football team, and I think they're not being talked about enough. I think they have a real chance to prove something tonight against a premier team in the NFL and a former MVP in Lamar Jackson. Like Baker Mayfield can make a statement tonight, and I don't think they're just gonna let the opportunity go by the wayside. So even if they don't win, 4.5 does feel like it's plenty to cover that for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Player props. Man, it was really hard to not take more, just because, like Blake said to start, like the pass defense, especially for both teams, stink. And like, man, like I can't believe I'm taking an over on prime time, but there's 2 games, so I'm treating it as it's not prime time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll start with one of my favorite ones, Justice Hill over 17.5 receiving. He is 4th on the Ravens in targets. It opened at 15.5. The Buccaneers are ranked 30th in receiving yards to opposing running backs. Just go off who the Bucs have played running backs wise this season. Kamara had 24 yards. Algier and Bijan Robinson combined for 29 yards. Saquon Barkley had 32. Javonte Williams 29 yards.
when they played Denver. And then a combination of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs had 62 yards. And then Brian Robinson for the Commanders had 49 yards week 1. I think Justice Hill, I think he gets it 2 catches and he's going to break this, I think.
Just need him in a 2-minute drill. And with all the scoring, they're going to get at least one of those opportunities, hopefully at one of the halves. And if they get one at the end of the game, that means they're Tampa Bay plus 4.5 crushing anyway. So kind of double dip on that.
Yeah. That's my first player prop for this game. I have 2 more. Let's go to the Bucs. Chris Godwin over 75.5 receiving yards. Like we've already said, Baltimore's ranked 30th in receiving yards to opposing wide receivers. There's 32nd overall, so they're dead last. He's gone over this total in 3 of 5 games this year, which includes the Commanders, Detroit, and New Orleans, who all have terrible pass defenses. On top of the fact that the Bucs throw the ball like 57% of the snaps. They're going to throw the ball a ton, I think, just because the Ravens' run defense ranks number 1 in the NFL. So I think Godwin's going to get a lot of targets. I think he leads the Buccaneers in targets. And it's so obvious that I'm afraid, but like I feel like I have to play this. If I don't play this, I will regret it. So here we go.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. I have a sneaky one for you guys if you want to talk about it for a second.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry over 5.5 receiving yards. Now, this is a weird one because when you think of Derrick Henry, you think rushing the ball, but because the Bucs pass defense is kind of bad, maybe there's an opportunity for when Lamar rolls out of the pocket and maybe Derrick lets somebody go and kind of turns around waiting for a screen pass, something or other. And then he's very hard to tackle. 2 weeks ago, he went for 23, 3 weeks ago, he went for 23 against Dallas. Also a bad pass defense. He went for 10 against Buffalo, a little better defense, and he only had 4 last week against Cincinnati. But this feels weird, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel like 5.5 is a weird number?
It's just one of those where it's like, how many opportunities is he going to get? Because
sure,
like I just said, Justice Hill is their receiving back. He's the guy that if they throw it to in the flat to a running back, he's the guy.
And he did do a straight up 0 against Washington last week. So, all right. Well, I'm glad you talked me out of it because
you're rooting for a busted play, but again, it's only 6 yards. So I mean,
it's like last week I took Aaron Rodgers over 3.5 rushing, and he didn't run at all. And he had like 29 the week before. It's one of those like he could easily break it in one play. Easily, if they run
if he gets a play to do it. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
It's more about like, will he get the opportunity though? I'm not sure, and that's what scares me about the play. I feel like it's safer to take Hill or anyone else in a receiving prop just because the pass defenses are so bad for both teams.
Yeah, 17.5 for Hill. That's not too bad.
No, not at all. My last play is Lamar Jackson over 51.5 rushing. He has at least 5 rush attempts in every game this season. He's hit double digits a few times. Bucs are ranked 20. Like they have a good rush defense, but they're ranked 29th against opposing quarterbacks, which is I listed all the quarterbacks that the Bucs have gone up against. Spencer Rattler at 27 yards last week. Kirk Cousins, who doesn't run at all, had 0 the week before. Jalen Hurts had 20 yards the week before that, and Bo Nix had 47 the week before that. Jared Goff, who doesn't run very often at all, had 5, and Jaden Daniels had 88. So I saw Jaden Daniels have 88 yards rushing, and think of Lamar Jackson, how much he runs, the type of quarterback he is, 51.5. It actually opened at 55.5, and it came down. I don't understand why.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That actually kind of downplays the Derrick Henry play that I just played too, because if it's a broken play, he's taken off. So I think you're right on that one for sure.
Those are my 3 props for this game.
Yeah, and I was gonna say it could be a good spot too to alt spread that or alt play that. I've been a big alt prop fan recently. We were talking juice before, so maybe look at 80 yards for Lamar, juice that up to like plus 300. I mean, like you said, Jaden Daniels breaks off 80 yards. Lamar? But I only have one player prop for this game. All the reasons we mentioned before. I don't need to beat a dead horse. Baker Mayfield over 254 passing yards. I was actually surprised to not see it closer to 275. Again, could be a spot where I alt play it, but I just like the regular straight up passing yards, 250, 255. No sweat for him. Don't expect it to be high scoring. How do you high score a game? Throw the ball. So let's see it. And we need Godwin too anyway on your play. So we'll both be rooting for it.
We're live on Instagram, by the way, and someone in my Instagram comments asked Kyle Arnett. He asked Mark Andrews' first touchdown scorer.
Nope.
I hate it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I hate it. He barely gets a touch a game now, you know?
I know.
So I was actually going to bring up first touchdown scores because I know you need Godwin to have a big day, but I was thinking Mike Evans is that's the big boy, right? That's the guy Baker looks at. He's plus 850 I'm seeing for first touchdown, and he's plus money for just a touchdown in the game too. He's plus 127 I'm seeing. So if you can get him at plus money for a touchdown, I already like it, but 850 for first touchdown isn't too bad. I bet you they're probably thinking that the Ravens are going to get down the field and score first. Really, you're kind of gambling that the Bucs get the ball first, or they can get a stop out of nowhere. But I kind of like Mike Evans for the first touchdown.
He does lead the Buccaneers in red zone targets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
I
like Cade Otton as well, tight end, who might be able to. He has 5. He's third for the Buccaneers in red zone targets this year.
He's plus 2,000 for first touchdown.
Yeah, and the Ravens they rank 31st against tight ends receiving yards as well. So tight ends have done well against Baltimore. Anyone who's catching a ball against the Ravens has done well.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I like either one of the three. Like you want to, I'd sprinkle on all three on Godwin, Evans, and Otton. Like depending on what your unit is. Like for me, $10 is the unit. Sometimes 25 if I'm feeling real frisky. All right, I'd sprinkle like $2.50 on each one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where I am at on those fun touchdown props.
You know what we're going to have to do is pick a guy in this game and pick a guy in the next game for first touchdown and parlay them for like $1 to win a bajillion.
You know what's messed up is when on Thursday we had the defensive touchdown, we called it, and then I don't think any one of us
didn't
place the bet. I did not place the bet.
That one got flagged back.
Yeah,
did it? It wasn't first touchdown, but they did have the anytime at the end of the game.
Yeah,
that's what I was talking about, the anytime tutty.
Yeah. I took the Steelers defense to do it last night, and they ran it back to the 2-yard line. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
That's a bad beat, man.
Yeah.
Well. Okay. Well, we're here. Who's scoring a touchdown? Let's just do anytime touchdown. Who's one guy you think is going to score tonight?
I really like Mike Evans.
Yeah, I'm going to go Mike Evans too. His injury kind of scares me because he can limp at any point. But when you're betting, you can't think of injuries. Although I was telling you my PTSD from yesterday, so maybe that's where it comes from. But we'll go Mike Evans. I like that pick.
All right. I guess I'll just roll with Mike Evans. It's a show as the show pick. For maybe I'll take a single, maybe I parlay it. We'll see how I feel about the second game because I really don't know how I feel about the second game. I like a few props. I lean Chargers, but as I said, I hate road favorites. I believe they're favorites in this game. I think they're the better team, but it's a divisional game. Cardinals coming off a bad loss. I don't know where to take this one. I feel like this one could go under because the Chargers defense is really good. So I feel like the safe play is the under. And I lean Chargers. How do you guys feel?
I feel like the Chargers should be favored by more than 1.5 in this game, which makes me feel like the Cardinals are the play.
Okay.
I'm taking the Chargers, but for all the other reasons. I'm not overthinking it. This is a ground and pound, run the ball, shove it down your throat, Jim Harbaugh kind of game. One of the best O-line in football. J.K. Dobbins is going to get 30 freaking touches. He's going to run for over 100 yards. Here, this is where you clip for me next time. The Chargers are going to win, and it's not. It could be close, but it's Chargers 1.5. I think it's going to be a tough game to watch. More so because the Cardinals are going to get lost on defense. I'm not overthinking this one. Jim Harbaugh, right? Yeah, Jim. One of the best coaches, one of the best football coaches we've seen over the last 20 years. All he does is win football games. That's all he's going to do tonight. So
I'll say this: if I were to bet this based off coaches alone, Jim Harbaugh or Jonathan Cannon, is that his name?
Yeah, that's just not fair.
I feel like I just have to take Jim Harbaugh here. Plus, aren't they coming off the bye?
No.
Yeah, they are.
No, they played Denver last week, and
I'm sorry, that was off the bye.
They gave up 3 points.
Yeah, that was off the bye.
Their defense is really good, and you are right. I think they're going to be able to run the ball with J.K. Dobbins against that really bad Arizona defense. I lean Chargers, so I'm riding with you. Give me the Chargers and give me the under. That's what I'm taking.
I guess I'll save everybody again. I'll fall on my sword for saying that it's the Cardinals. I don't know. I feel like the Chargers should be favored, even though they're on the road. I feel like they should be favored by 4 or 5.5 points here, and they're favored by 1.5. Like that just something's fishy here. Something's fishy. And last week, best public week against the Bucs in over 20 years, I think they said.
Yeah.
Nearly every favorite took home, and nearly every over took it home. So I don't know. Something's fishy. Something's in the air, boys. So I lean Cardinals, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just parlay Dobbins touchdown with a Mike Evans touchdown. And I think that and then the over in the first game. And that just might be my night.
I like that.
Yeah.
I love it.
That goes great to go right into my player prop for this game. Cause I wish I had taken it earlier because it opened at 69.5. Nice. It's now at 79.5. Give me J.K. Dobbins rushing. Arizona's ranked 29th against opposing running backs and rushing yards. They're ranked 30th in rushing overall. Again, it scares me a little bit because it's moved up 10 points. Hell, it might be even higher because I placed this bet this morning. But I got 79.5. J.K. Dobbins had 25 carries his last game, which is the most of the season. And because Arizona's rush defense is so bad and they love to run the ball, they don't throw it a ton. This Chargers team is so different with Harbaugh at the helm compared to Brandon Staley. Like they are a defense ground and pound, like Blake was saying. So I think they will try to run the ball and just hope and pray that J.K. Dobbins continues to stay healthy because A, I have this player prop, and B, he's on my fantasy team. not that anyone cares, but yeah. So that's one player prop that I love. The other one that I really love, and I love it as much as I love Dobbins, Trey McBride over 49.5 receiving yards. The Chargers, while their defense is pretty good, they haven't been great against opposing tight ends this year. They ranked 25th in receiving yards allowed to tight ends. He leads Arizona in targets with 38. And the only thing that kind of scares me is that it opened at 51.5, then went down all the way to 47.5, and then has now found itself at 49.5, at least when I bet it. So there's a lot of up and down action with that one. But he has gone over this total at three out of the 5 games. And I think the Chargers will be down in this game, and so they're going to have to throw it. And again, leads their team in targets. I'll give me Trey McBride over 49.5 receiving.
I like it. I'm sticking with I have the Dobbins prop as well. I also first touchdown plus 460. So I'm going to be rolling that. And I might just stick it with the Mike Evans one. That might be the
plus 50-30 on FanDuel.
To parlay those two for first.
Yeah. Just so we're all here.
10 to win 500.
$2.75 will win you $141.08 because that's what I just did. So
I'm riding. I'll be riding with you.
Let's just
Mike
have
go.
Evans and J.K. Dobbins.
We
Let's
are
just have
big
some fun.
J.K. Dobbins and Mike Evans fans tonight, guys.
Yeah. And then I also parlayed now. FanDuel, they have their 30% profit boost on same game parlays, or you can exit too. So I did the over fit. It's up to 51.5 from the last time I looked. So over 51.5 for the first game, Ravens and Bucks, and then a Mike Evans touchdown and a J.K. Dobbins touchdown, boosted on FanDuel for plus 616. So pretty good odds.
Let's have some fun.
Let's have this. This could be a very fun night or just the absolute worst, because I feel like I feel very confident in every bet that I place today. All right. And that always leads to some sort of bullshit that leads to me not having a good day.
Here's the thing, Cody. Nothing will ever be as bad as Saturday night. We'll always have that in our back pocket.
That entire Saturday slate killed us both. I had,
We got bamboozled. I was up here saying, hey, I think Nebraska can keep it close in Indiana.
we both were.
What? And then I said, don't even touch my Michigan State Spartans. And there they go over Iowa. So, I was just bad. But, we're going to try again next weekend. Like, nothing's going to stop us.
Nothing's going to stop us. We can only keep moving forward, folks.
That's all we can do. That's all we can do.
All right. Any other plays? We're at this point, we're all on me and Blake are on the Chargers. Tommy's on the Cardinals. I'm taking the under. You guys going to touch the total on this one?
No.
I'm out. I'm out on that one.
It's a no for me, dog.
Okay.
But I'll be rooting for you.
I appreciate it. Somehow, some way, the Chargers will score all the points and the Cardinals will not score any. That's what we're hoping for. I should do an alternate line of Chargers -10 right now.
Bet you won't.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Man.
All right. This was fun. We did it in less than 30 minutes, and now I can go eat dinner and enjoy the rest of my night. We'll be back on Wednesday for Thursday Night Football preview. All right.
Yep.
Best of luck with everyone's bets. King Nate in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks everyone on Instagram and on Twitter as well. We will see you next time, and bet responsibly.
1-800-GAMBLER.